complete picture of the way the third driving license has been implemented. We have a press network. We have a list of identified infrastructure problems with the standards. We have an ITS system rating, which is going to be very useful in terms of understanding better the user acceptance of ITS systems and the reason why some user acceptance issues are raising, etc. Now, as I said, this has enabled us to draw a more precise picture of motorcycling throughout Europe. The main interesting information, I mean, the interesting tool that we use and which provided us this picture was the first big survey that we set up, which is the Motorcycling Pan-European Survey. It took place for 1 year between 2013 and 2014, gathered over 12,000 answers in 17 European countries. And out of which, the study is ongoing, is still ongoing. Out of this, we already started to have some comparison between northern countries, southern countries, or eastern countries, western countries, and we already started to find some very interesting differences. This survey will enable us to further finalize analysis between the European trends and then country trends, compare them, or to compare trends between countries like France and Poland we have now, or the Netherlands and Greece we have available today, but also to make in-depth country analysis, like for instance the information source of the riders in every country, etc. We can also, with this survey, have topic analysis. Like we have now an analysis made on protective gear, but we can also have analysis on other specific issues like training, etc. And what we can also now do with the other survey is cross the information between, for instance, the ITS survey, which we're going to discuss in a minute, and the information collected on mobility habits or safety patterns and habits from the riding community. As I said, the analysis is ongoing, so I only have a few of the results, but still already providing us some interesting information. So what's common? What does the survey tell us? Well, there are commonalities in motorcycling in Europe. For instance, gender. A vast majority of men, over 90% in all countries. However, we already see a difference is that in a northern country, there are slightly more women riding motorcycle than men. The number of kilometers ridden per year, it's more or less the same everywhere, with a bit more in the southern countries. One would expect because of the weather. This is also to be fine-tuned, but generally speaking, the same number of kilometer range, average. Helmet wearing rate, everywhere, over 98% wearing. So helmet is not an issue as such in Europe. Infrastructure, it may be locally, it may be for some particular for some particular segment of the population, but as a whole, it's not an issue. Infrastructure problems, that's an interesting outcome I found, because we found out that whatever the country, when we compare the identification of the most important infrastructure problem at European level or at national level, the rating was exactly the same. In blue, you have the France rating. In yellow, you have the EU rating. So you would have said this is the same this is just for France, it's just a hazard. Well, in fact, no, because this is a comparison which was made between France and Poland, and the rating is exactly the same. So infrastructure, the rating of the problem, the priority of the problem is actually pretty much the same everywhere in Europe, which is interesting when we want to address infrastructure issues. The differences. Usage. Well, here is a comparison north-south. So the northern countries compared were Germany, Denmark, Finland, UK. The southern countries compared were Spain, Portugal, Greece, Italy. Well, you already immediately see that there is a difference in leisure commuting predominance. The frequency of use. Again, I guess the weather has some explanation, but not only the weather, I believe. So again, it's a north-south comparison where we see strong differences in terms of the summer season or every day, which obviously impact a lot of the safety actions to be taken. Frequency still, this is a comparison between Greece, which rides every day, and the Netherlands. the repartition of the frequency. Engine size. We also see strong differences. This is a comparison east-west. So east-west country, if you remember the slide with the map, basically Western countries started with Finland, Germany, and down to Italy. And so that was the Western country, and Eastern countries were us from Lithuania, Estonia, etc., up to Greece. So age, also some differences. Younger in southern and eastern countries. And revenues. And this differences is illustrated in the north-south comparison, but also the east-west comparison, confirmed. So this obviously has an impact in terms of motorcycle protection, motorcycle gear. Family situation, also very interesting comparison. This is a difference between east and west. Western riders are in couple and have children much more than Eastern riders who are alone without children. Accident types. I'm not digging into the details, but this is also, we also see a difference in terms of accident types. Or safety information sources. So this already illustrates the necessity to dig into the details of the characteristics of the motorcycling population we are targeting in terms of measures and safety measures. We had a second survey, which is the one we call the ITS survey, which ran also for 6 months. Out of the close to 5,000 answers, we only selected a number of answers because we made a relation with the accident rates in order to have relevant information. And for similar reasons, out of the 25 countries we managed to collect information, we only selected 11 exploitable countries for statistical relevance, which are those in the darker, don't know what's the color, mauve, in the mauve color. Yeah, purple, thank you. What does the ITS survey tell us for now? That there is a correlation between the main vehicle use and the riding patterns. In other words, when the participants to the survey claim that they use more the car, well, they use the motorcycle for leisure activities. Reversely, when the participant to the survey declares that he's using PTW more, well, he's using it for commuting reasons. So there is a correlation between these two, which we found interesting. We also found out that scooter and super sport users were the most enthusiastic towards technology, as opposed to custom riders, which were more skeptics. We also found out that the more riding experience the participant had, the less technology acceptance he was showing. The more annual mileage the participants to the survey had, the less technology acceptance he had. There was no trends found out regarding usage and attitudes towards technology. But the most interesting I found was that whether skeptics or whether enthusiastics towards technology, they came out with the best top 10 safety systems, the same top 10 most dangerous systems, and the same top 10 useless systems. So obviously the rating was lower, but the priority was the same. So we also found a strong difference between the North and the South. Central Europe, we call Central Europe France, I mean those in between. Central Europe were being more selective, so with changing minds and not quite clear. Further analysis we want to do is the relation with the road use and the safety culture. And as I said, we want to cross this information also with the big motorcycling survey we ran. But these are a few graphs about the top 10 systems, but again, it's too small for me to read. But it's going to come out. You're going to have the presentation available. But as I said, the important thing here is that whether they're skeptic or not, they come out with the same top 10. Same top 10 dangerous, and same top 10 systems useless. So, this was as an introduction where we are. I mean, what are the next steps for the project? we want to finalize the survey analysis with the country comparison and the regional trends. We want to cross the results between the ITS survey and the big survey on motorcycling. We want to integrate, we still want to integrate the outcomes of this discussion of today. We have a few missing inputs that we want to complete, like for instance on driving license. And there are a few remaining pan-European stakeholders interviews to be made before we can then finalize the reports and review this with our experts. The reports are due by the end of April. This is the end of the project, but it's definitely not the end of motorcycle safety work. It's the beginning, I would say. So now, I mean, I think it's time to start working. As I said, we have 5 sessions. Now I'd like to hand over to the moderator of the first session, is Pierre. Yeah, it's you. Pierre van Elsland is an IFSTA researcher and is known at international level, at least at my level, as also the participant of the Lillehammer workshop, and as a follow-up, he's been the chairman of the ITF working group on motorcycle safety, and he's kindly accepted to join us for today and tomorrow and make the relation between the ITF work on motorcycle safety and rider scan work. I'll give you the floor.